Hey there, what's up? It's Munchy Middlevert Mama here. In this video, I'm going to talk about a little something I like to call SMS or SMR. What is that? Well, SMS is social media syndrome, or SMR is social media rudeness. You can kind of decide which term you like. And yes, these are my terms that I have made up, but I believe it's a very real disease, so to speak, that a lot of us have suffered from or can suffer from. So this video is just going to be on the list of things, of do's and don'ts, really to just kind of help you see how you might be doing some of these things, or where you could improve on something, or where you're doing really great maybe. Social media can end up being a very socially isolated place to be, a very insensitive place, and this list is not really to beat up anybody. It's more just to kind of show, hey, we're all capable of doing this, but let's find a better way to go about social media and do it the right way. Okay? So the first thing on my list is to use punctuation and proper grammar. This more applies to when you're texting somebody, messaging, and also in emails. Pay attention to what you're writing. Please pre-read, reread any texts or messages or emails. You don't want to come off like you're illiterate, so when you just send messages and they make no sense, or they have a bunch of misspelled words and there's no punctuation, and you're trying to read it and you kind of go like, what? Huh? Who? What? It makes it really hard. So just because it's a text doesn't mean your grammar has to go out the window. You can still be a very cultured person and write correctly and punctuate correctly. That's what punctuation is there for. And it is really, really helpful when it comes to written things, because people can't see the inflection in your voice. That's what punctuation is for. It's to show the attitude that you're in at that time. So use your punctuation and grammar properly. Okay? All right, next thing is don't spread yourself too thin. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to just start a bunch of conversations and then get so overwhelmed you can't keep up with them, and you're trying to remember who you were talking to and all the 9 yards. So don't spread yourself too thin. Don't try and be everybody's friend. You can't be. It's impossible. Choose your friends wisely. You can have friends, you can have acquaintances, there's all kind of different levels, but when it comes to interacting with people, make sure you interact with the amount of people that you can personally and genuinely interact with and really build bridges with, and it's not something that will be overwhelming. Because what happens if you spread yourself too thin is it leads to point number 3. You don't respond to messages. And this is a rudeness. Sorry guys out there, it is just rude not to respond to messages. You need to somehow find a system where you can respond to messages. And even if you can't respond to them at the time, or might take you a little bit longer, then shoot that person a message or an email or something that says, hey, I got it. I have you on my list. I will get back to you. And then keep your word. I'm telling you, not responding to messages is a huge thing. And it's just, like I said, it's just a rudeness. And somehow find a way to respond to messages. Because when you don't, it's essentially the same as if you were talking to somebody in person and said, oh, hold on just a minute, walked away, and then you never came back and finished the conversation. Okay, it's kind of the same thing. Don't want to do it. Okay, and this leads to point number 4. Busy is no excuse for forgetting and not responding to messages or whatever it might be. Busy is by far the number one, and I do mean the number one excuse given for why somebody doesn't message back, email back, call back, whatever it might be. It's always, oh, I was just so busy, I forgot. Okay, when you tell somebody that, it's saying to them, you don't matter that much into my life because I couldn't even bother to remember to write back to you or even what we were talking about. It made really no difference in my life. You might not be meaning that at all, but that's what the other person is hearing. So be genuine. Busyness is not an excuse. Don't be so busy. And if you are too busy to respond to people, then don't be talking to people. That's just, don't, okay? If you're too busy, got it, get it, no problem. Just don't be trying to start conversations and then not finish them. Because again, that's a rudeness, that's sometimes insulting. It's just not a good thing, okay? So don't get too busy for that. All right. The fifth point is to cultivate real person relationships. Oh, it's so easy to feel like you have all these friends and you're doing so great in the relationship department, but if you were to really think about it, you have 0 real life friends, and all the friends you think you have are on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Foursquare or Snapchat or whatever it is you're on. Don't ditch real life relationships for online. Be aware of the people around you and the friends and the people that God brings into your life, your neighbors, all these things. Those are important because God planted you where you are. So grow where you are. But you can't if you're constantly going way out on social media and going way over here and over there, and you're too busy over here to even see the people right in your circle that God has placed you in. So be sure to be intentional about cultivating real person relationships. Okay? And last but not least, social media can be an addiction, and it can be an overwhelming addiction, and it can really take away from our life and from the lives of others. And that's just a whole new bag of words. And I'm actually going to do another video on that, so stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys found this video helpful and that it makes you a better social media person, and you can get over that disease if you have it, that SMS disease. Or it can encourage you to stay away from those common pitfalls that can land you right in there. And I'll be honest, I have done some of the things on the list. I've been guilty of doing it. I realize how yuck it is when I do it. I hate it when it's done to me. So this is just an encouraging video to you guys to, not get stuck in that disease. But I will see you guys in another video. I gotta go take care of my little girl right now. See you next time.